Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bourky Cabinet featuring AJ and
Jessica!
Today's episode we have an Eagle Rare. I guess. But it's not just a regular Eagle Rare either, it is a store pick Eagle Rare.
Right, which so lots of hope in that aspect because, store pick single barrels are typically the best way to go about this stuff. But to talk about Eagle Rare, so Eagle Rare comes out of Buffalo Trace, as we have mentioned before. Buffalo Trace is located in Frankfort, Kentucky, and was founded in 1787. Eagle Rare was introduced in 1975. They go based off of a corn, rye, and barley mash build. I believe it's undisclosed specifically the percentages, but that's the generic. There are 3 varieties of Eagle Rare. There is the regular Eagle Rare, which is always 10 years old. Then naturally they do the single barrels as well. And then they do a 17-year, and they do a double Eagle Very Rare bottle as well. That, if I remember correctly, I think that comes out with their antique collection typically whenever, Pappy and everything else is released. This bottle here is $40 a bottle, if I remember correctly. And I also, if I remember correctly, I think it's 90 proof. I have always... Am I right about that 90 proof?
Yes.
Awesome. As I've always referred to as Eagle Rare before, it is definitely a good introductory bourbon. It has been quite some time since I personally have had Eagle Rare. That's just because usually it's too light on my palate for me to enjoy, so I typically stay away from it. But for your guys' sake, I figured we could talk about what they have to offer and bring out some of the notes and everything that we get from it. So
just real quick, my little history of Eagle Rare. I have seen it before, saw how cheap it was. I mean, even the little stars on the little wrapper here, I was like, well, this is really cheap. It's probably gonna be a crap bourbon. It sounds so generic. Eagle Rare just sounds like a generic name.
And then it's so Americanized. It's got an eagle. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. I couldn't help myself.
So let's see if the store pick's actually any better than the regular.
Eagle Rare, whenever I first started drinking, was about $30 a bottle. Which is, I mean, if you think of going into this as a $30 bottle, it's like, this be worth it. But I remember being like, it's okay. Back in those days, whenever I first started drinking, naturally, as any freshly 21-year-old, $30 was too expensive for a bottle.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. Trying to look for vodka prices.
It was too expensive at that time, but now looking back, I'm like, $30, bruh. Could have thrown down, stocked up, could have sold that stuff, made so much money at this point.
So from this, I'm getting, you know it, but it does smell like it's a little bit on the sweeter side.
It is so sweet. I get toffee.
I would need to smell toffee again. It's been a very long time.
I love toffee. It tastes so good. I get so much toffee. I get a small amount of the oak from the barrel, but none of the charness.
Yeah, no char at all.
You get a little bit of vanilla.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting more of. I'm getting more vanilla than anything.
Which vanilla and toffee, I feel like, go very similar hand in hand. Toffee is just a little bit like a nutty or caramely version of vanilla. Which I know sounds, yeah. Guess I could just list all those things instead of just saying straight toffee, but toffee's more specific.
Yeah, I mean, it is, yeah.
Smells great, though.
It's not too bad.
Senses wise. Well, no sense wise.
honestly, this isn't too bad. To me, it's not too bad.
I'm not gonna lie, this is better than I remember.
Yeah, actually, this one is.
It's not as watered down as what most Eagle Rares are, in my opinion. More than likely because it is a single barrel, is why we're getting more of that depth to it. Yeah, okay.
So, this is actually pretty good.
It's not the greatest.
There's not much heat on the front end. You might get some on the back end, but it's very delayed, and it's nothing crazy. It is, I do get some caramel notes there at the end. Like an aftertaste, I'm getting a little bit of caramel notes there.
See, I get a good amount of the, like a little bit of the oak at first, and when it goes into straight vanilla, whenever it's actually on my palate. And then whenever I swallow, it goes into that caramel. But then after that, it's a very unusual yet memorable taste, and I'm trying to pinpoint what that is.
Deliciousness.
Definitely still tastes watered down. Has almost like a alright, that's gonna sound really weird. Like a maraschino cherry sweetness mixed with the way a Sharpie smells.
That's too much.
Okay, well,
I can't get that. They probably can. I can.
That's where I'm at. But anyways, rating?
Man, it's a single barrel and it's a store pick, so it's honestly gonna be higher than probably what the regular one's gonna be. I'd probably give this 6.5.
Wow, that's so surprising.
I was really surprised by this bottle. I thought it was gonna be just falling on its face, and that actually surprised me.
Because what makes that the most surprising is that, okay, for the viewers out there, just so you all know, his brother, this is his brother's absolute favorite bourbon, period, hands down.
Older brother.
Yeah, which, I mean, people can, we all have our own choices and whatnot, but anytime his brother has come over and mentioned drinking Eagle Rare, he is always like, oh, let's drink something better than that. And now, here he is, giving it over 6. Like,
whoa.
I get it. It's a single barrel. I get it.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than their regular run of the mills. It definitely is. So if I was ever to come across Eagle Rare, I would buy the single barrel before doing a run of mill. But yeah, no, this is still super mediocre. It is not as watered down as what I'm used to Eagle Rare tasting like. There's a little bit more barrel out of it than what I'm used to tasting in Eagle Rare. So for that, I will give it a 5.5.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And that's more than what I was originally going to give it, so yeah, it should be happy. Truthfully, honestly, after that, I felt like I should just take that down. But whatever, we'll keep it at the 5.5 because that's what I went with at first.
I mean, you can change it if you want to.
I do then. I want to take it to a 5. Dropping it to a 5.
Let's see if the shot's any better. Even though I feel like
I kind of did, and it gave it like a slight molasses taste, and I think that's why I really don't like it. So if this tastes the same, then I'm holding my last number at the 5.5 and just keep this one at a 5, because then that'll tell me that that's the issue. I didn't sip that last little bit, so there wasn't much there either, so let's just find it. Wow, that was weird. That is so different.
So it wasn't the same as when you just took the rest of the last one?
No. I got apple. Like Granny Smith apples off of that initially. And then it goes into like some sort of spring water shit. And
I get a little bit of that spring water. The vanilla.
Water-ish. Yeah, like that was super, like, the way how that changes is so weird. That is so weird, guys. so weird. Yeah, but what were you gonna say?
That I got that spring water somewhere in the mist there. You get like the that initial bite of a Granny Smith apple because it's very refreshing is what it feels like.
Yeah.
Almost like a minty kind of coolness.
Almost, but
a little different.
Yeah. Well, it's like an acidity kind of freshness that it gives. Not like a I just chewed gum.
yeah, definitely not like that.
Not
Definitely not like that. But with that being said, though, I'm gonna go ahead and rate it, and I'll give this. I mean, it's a little better, so I'll give it a 6.
That was weird.
Wait. No, I said 6.5 at first.
Oh yeah, you did.
So.
Nope. You just proved that it's actually worse as a shot. I'm just messing with you.
You got me on that one, so. But I do think it's a little better. Now that I remember that I said it's a 6.5, I'll give it a 7. No, 6.5 for the shot.
Give it the same.
Yeah, it's about the same. I don't think it's worth a 7. It's close. It's close.
7's a good number I'd like to have, and it's not worth that.
And I'm not doing her numbers.
Yeah, I know you won't.
What about
me
you?
Personally, it's so much worse as a shot. I don't like spring water though, so I'm not one for that earthy. Which is funny that I don't like earthy because I love green tea. That's like as dirt as you get, but I don't like earthy spring water for some reason. So I really didn't like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna make sure that one was a 5.5, like I originally said, and this one would be my 5.
Alright.
I didn't get none of the molasses shit out of this that I got whenever I last took that last little bit out of my glass there. So I don't know where the hell that came from. But yeah, no, it's a better sipper than it is freaking taken as a shot. So definitely not worth my money, but definitely worth a lot of other people's alleys.
A lot of people pay like double, triple what it's worth.
Yeah, definitely, especially on the third party market. Like people go ham over this, and I guess because America, but no.
That was great.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
You good. That was good.
As far as Eagle Rare is concerned, definitely recommend getting a single barrel over their regular stuff. We'll get a regular bottle at some point just to help talking about the differences and whatnot for you guys live. Or, not live, but we don't really like cut this shit out, so you all get it like as fresh as what we do, so. Yeah.
So, on the next episode,
Of the Bourky cabinet.
Oh yeah, that's what I was Bourky cabinet. Thank you, my lovely assistant. Next episode, we're actually gonna do that Knob Creek over there. So stay tuned for that, because it's gonna be a Knob Creek single barrel. Yeah, we'll discuss all that in the video. But until then,
Ja matane. Come see us again. Ha 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 ha.